2XKO Alpha Lab impressions. Esports World Cup has concluded, and we're going to take a look at some Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite mods. Welcome to Double Tap, this Mash Those Buttons podcast dedicated to the FGC. Of course, I am your host, Crash, and with my duo. This is my duo. Well, actually, we got two duos on the show, but my duo with this team, I got Ja in the building.
What's going on?
And then we've got the other team with Meza and Static Gorilla.
Hello. You. Wait, did we sign up as Double Tap that when we played in that tournament?
No.
Thank God.
There was no name.
Thank God.
What tournament? Let's never speak of that again.
Well, we'll talk about the tournament, the game that's played at that tournament, though. Some 2XKO guys. Let's jump into it, man, because we got a lot to talk about. So 2XKO Alpha Lab is live. We were just recorded last week's episode right before it. And everyone, it's out. It's finally in people's hands in a mass majority. Not here, at least half of the people on this show have had a chance to sit down with this lab, and we're gonna talk about some of the impressions here. So, to be specific, Meza and Static, you guys have been able to get into the Alpha Lab. I myself am not in it due to my region. Even though I work for the damn company, it's all good. And then Ja, I don't even know if you signed up for it, but Ja ain't play it. So we're going through the perspective of you guys right now, who, you guys have a good degree of background in tag fighters, right? Like all the Marvels. I can't even say like, oh, Marvel 3 or whatever, like BB Tag as well. I don't even know what other tag games you guys have possibly played. I mean, besides just the slew of different.
Does Mortal Kombat
series.
count? Sorry, I'm just being funny.
the team. Nah, I don't know if the team mode counts. So you guys had a chance to sit down, play in the tournament, grind it out. So we're gonna go through basically kind of like our impressions on it. So off the rip, which way, guys? Which way do you want to do this? You want to go with the positives, or you want to go with what needs feedback?
It'd be easier.
Let's hit it with the positives.
Yeah.
Let's go with the positives. Let's start on a high note.
I was
Let's
going to
start
make an executive decision
note.
and say positives first.
Yeah.
With the way Meza talks, we ain't coming back from the negatives. We ain't coming back.
We gotta start. We gotta start high, because you know what? There's a high bar and there's a lot of things to get into. So off the rip, you guys have played like previous versions. I think the Evo build and all, right? You've had a chance. Gabe has.
I went to Evo. I liked the Evo build. I only used Echo at that time. Now this is again 20 whatever last year was. What is that? 2023.
2023. Yeah, just subtract one, dog. It's not that hard.
Yeah, no. Listen.
So
175 is right around the corner. I'm already thinking about next Evo.
You're not wrong. All right, so what does 2XKO get right? We'll start off with you, Meza. What do you like about the game right now?
I love the UI. I think the UI is super clean. This is something we always talked about before, how they keep building out the UI, which I guess kind of leads into how they did the lobby system. But
the lobby system, we didn't get a chance to see it until now, or experience it until now.
I do think that they put some thought into what they wanted for people to be able to move around in the UI system. I would say it's easy. It's just simple. It's almost like Street Fighter 6 UI, which is simple too, but that's a little bit more convoluted. I feel like this is a lot more straightforward. It's like you want to jump in, you want to just play the game. You don't want to even look at options or anything or whatever. You're just like, hit it, go, play. But then you also have the ability to kind of look at the progression system and everything else.
Okay.
So I know I don't want to go to negative. I had some of the opposite of the UI in the menuing. So some of it was hard to navigate, especially if you're trying to invite a friend. We had that situation with trying to invite, but that again can be a completely overall thing since super alpha. It's not something I'm dwelling on.
Do want to premise this is all alpha, like, a lot of this is work in progress. There's going to be things that they're going to improve and finalize and actually refine over time, and
I'm sure it'd be easier with the mouse and keyboard, like click and get used to. So it's not a killing situation for me, but I did have some UI impression stuff. But go on, Meza, did you have any other rights?
I definitely think that the music was done really, really well. I think that's one of my favorite parts of the game when it was working. The music was. I mean, it's alpha. I don't expect everything to work. I mean, we've seen that before, but
I've heard some glitches that sometimes it does mute or something like that.
Yeah,
at times.
But it's catchy as hell.
There's games that are out in final release that still have shit like that happening. So not gonna knock it. So
no,
but I agree. It's catchy. I caught myself singing some of the humming some of the stage themes, and even the character
can't think
selecting.
of any. I can't think of any off the top of my head right now. I know they've released them, or at least a couple tracks on Twitter, but I can't really think. I mean, Bilgewater. I remember Bilgewater stage. That's pretty easy to kind of remember.
Honestly, the character. I agree with the character selecting. It's a banger.
The character like
I could sit there for an hour if I really wanted to.
Yeah. It kind of goes on a beat pretty fast and kind of just jumps up at you. But it's like, yo, pick your character. Okay, so UI, music, what else we got?
I definitely think that compared to a lot of the games that do lobby systems like Grand Blue, Guilty Gear in the past, not this new garbage that they did, I feel like they did it the best. I feel like I'm playing in the arcades. It's easy to find matches. I can play people who are 2v1, like 1v2, 2v2, 1v1. So everything's accessible. It's not like it's just, I gotta log in and play with my friend versus two other people. It is, you can fight anyone.
From what I've been seeing, it's like they definitely try to push a social component to it, because you can just roll up on anyone and just challenge them, right? You can just, on anybody, you can just roll up, you can just like instantly hit challenge or private match or request to come to a match or something like that. But also the one thing that I didn't know about was the spectating.
Yes.
The fact that you can like just jump on like anyone that's like playing on a cab or on a screen or whatever, you could just roll up and spectate their match like
see the score
instantly.
too.
And see the score and everything. Because I think like, if you look at other games right now that do it, I think like Street Fighter has that with like, they have the one screen, I think, that if you play on the stage in the Battle Hub, like that's like the only one that's like kind of visible in there. And that's it. While this is like, you can literally just roll up on anyone and just boop, you got the screen and you can actually just watch the match.
It's actually cool because like, let's say you didn't want to watch somebody on the main stage, but let's say you're far away. You could, because it was big enough, but then you could go to someone, like as you're walking by, it'll actually blow up a little bit the other match that's happening near your character. So you can be like, I do want to watch that match because maybe I play that character. And then as you get closer, it'll give you the option to make it even bigger, but you could still see the rest of the lobby. It's just like your own little perspective, which is really, really nice. I have seen it load. So there is loading happening. It's not like everything's just running 24/7, which I mean, that's fair. I don't really care. At the end of the day, it's ease of accessibility. And I can see what somebody's doing and go, can I learn something from this? Instead of something like DNF Duel where I'll jump on a cab just to see what people are doing spectator wise. And I got to wait for it to speed through, kind of like how Street Fighter 5 used to be. It's like all wonky, right? But this one was done really, really well.
It's like no different from like you literally like walking up like in a regular tournament, right? You just walking behind somebody on a TV, maybe because you did spot your character. Like, oh shit, let me go see how this match is gonna go. And you just,
or you see who's winning and you pick quickly who you want to face. Like, yo, what's the score? Yo, what's the game count? What's the set count? All right, get up.
Exactly.
All right, get up. Let me play.
I will note one thing that was really nice too. When you're in game, this is part of the lobby system too. When you're in game, it shows you how many people are actually watching your match. So it could go from like one person to just like 5, 10, 15 people in the room just watching the match. So that means people aren't really playing on the cabs. They're just actually watching whoever's like, maybe it's the two people who are on fire and they're going back and forth.
So sometimes if you're like on one of the systems, like one of the arcades, it'll walk up to you. Like if you walk up to them, that'll count as a watch. But because you're on the screen, if you're on the screen way in the back, then that means you're actually like being watched by like everybody or whoever's walking in, whoever has that window sort of like main focus. And it's weird. So like if you're pointing towards someone, that focus is on them and you can you can like see what their stats and all of the above. So
you can spy peek. Cool. You can spy and peek the tech, wherever you are.
I think I definitely spent a lot more time just like chilling in the lobby, especially because like finding matches was really easy, part of the lobby system. So I could just like hit X and then it finds a spot for me instead of just like teleporting me to it. It makes me go to run to it. and then I'll go run to it, and I'm like, oh, okay, I made my way over to the arcade machine, and then I sat down, played the person. But I do like that concept where even if you queue up to be next, it's not interrupting the match. It's not slowing it down. It's not making you have to wait and sit in the lobby and you can't see anything. You just watch. Once it's over, instantly you can just sit down and play. And it does put them off. So,
all right. So, gone over UI, some music, the lobby system themselves. What about the gameplay? Let's get into the nitty gritty.
Do him first.
Okay. Go for it. What you got?
What I liked, or we're still with the likes, still with the positives?
Yeah. We in there. Yeah, we positivity right now.
For me, it's satisfying combos. I find it very. How do I say? I like discovering new things. I don't know if you saw some of my stream where I was discovering what Yasuo can do, and every time I came back to the game, I was finding more stuff to do with him or more shortcuts to do with him. For instance, his stance. Like, it took me the third sit down with him to realize that the stance could just, if I hold down back with the stance, I could just keep going into the stance.
Oh,
yeah. I was there when you were freaking out about it. Yeah, you were freaking out by that.
I freaked out more because I could do like a cross-up move into the stance. And I was like, okay, there's stuff to open up here. And I liked that more than I liked looking for other characters. Like, I was messing around with Echo, and then I accidentally switched to Yasuo, checked his move list, and I was like, what does he have? And oh man, it was just opened up whole avenues of things. So, but then it's also a detriment because I want to try things in matches. So I've also had to come up with a BNB. So I've been practicing the game a lot more, which also goes into lots to discover. Again, whether it be with the two characters, whether it be with different fuses, a lot of fuses. Meza sent and put up a video on his Twitter recently about just ways to DHC, but even just ways to use a super into 2 super uses. So like making use of 3 supers. So that's something else that I haven't thought of, but with also an assist. So your BB tag brain is working there. And then my last thing is like many defensive mechanics. So
defensive mechanics as of right now, we've got push block, which requires one bar meter.
Yes.
You got push block, then you got defensive retreat, which is where you can actually go back, actually retreat backwards. So it's like reverse push block for your character. So not the best thing to do in the corner, but really good at mid screen or if your back is not against the corner. Burst, of course. Burst, or rather, what they don't call it burst. They call it dynamic save.
Okay. With a handshake too.
We all know what it is. Yeah, we all know what it is.
Mega crash. Intercept.
Yeah. Get off me. Combo breaker. Yeah. Call what it is. And I believe those are those.
Nope. There is some blue thing that.
Wake up. It's a universal wake up attack. So,
it's a DP.
Yeah, it's basically DP. Yeah, exactly. You have a universal wake up attack that you can do.
What I will tell people that they probably haven't been exploring.
And parry.
Not even parry. Parry's one of them. Parry's great. There's a just
defend. Don't say backdash, please.
There's a just defend.
There is.
Oh, yes.
I didn't know that.
There's a perfect guard, if you want to say it the proper way. There is a perfect guard in the game. People just haven't really explored it.
Yes. Yeah. It's gonna be like that for a while. Yeah. The game.
It's like 2 days.
Like all these. Yeah. It's like a couple days. But it's negative. Like whatever. Really, technically, if you want to look at it that way. But yeah, all these defenses, all these mechanics, it's gonna take some time because right now what everyone's doing is basically what Static was just talking earlier, exploring characters, exploring what they're gonna be able to do, and it's almost like a check. There's almost like a priority list to it. It's like, oh, you get a character, you see what they can do, you work on another character you think you might like to put together and see where there's synergy there. Maybe then you start going into the fuses, then you start going into games. And then once you kind of start building up those games is when you're going to start seeing the use of mechanics in certain areas. Like, oh, can I parry Darius's apprehend here? Can I parry Alawi over here? Like in their string, right? You're going to start seeing that, or even noticing strings and then learning to retreat guard. So that way, you know, the next button is just going to whiff and you can just punish, right? Like that's like kind of think the natural way that it's going to progress. But that last one is really what's going to take over time because there's so many combinations, right? You've got, if you take a look at even just the cast right now, right? 6 characters, just with those 6 characters, Alawi, Darius, Yasuo, Ahri, Echo, Braum. That's 15 total combinations of teams that you can build from that right now. But then you add another 5 fuses to each of those combinations. That's like 75, more or less. That's like my napkin math right there. That's like about 75 different combinations and all kinds of situations to go in between. So it's going to take a while for us to start pinning down or getting these data sets and getting these situations built up or this tech built up. But I mean, no lack of try, no, because damn, Twitter feeds are going nuts with the tech. But it's also due to certain things like bugs and stuff that we're finding in game, which is normal.
I actually think the most interesting part is the duos. Like I know me and Gabe experienced probably a negative response to it.
Oh yeah, y'all got mopped.
Which,
yeah, you guys
hands down,
got mopped. There's no coming back from that.
I have stated I never really wanted to play 2v2s. I think it's stupid because I want to control both characters. I signed up to play a fighting game, but I will say I've appreciated watching a lot of people play the 2v2s or 2v1s, and it has kind of like made my brain like go like haywire, where I'm like, man, imagine not having to control another character to do all the crazy inputs that you need to do. So that's a really nice aspect. And then it's also a really nice bonder for new players to not feel alone in the fighting solo. It's so hard. Plus you don't have to learn 2 characters. Learning 2 characters is really hard.
I really had to think about that as well when I started looking at the feedback. People posting up Reddit threads, like new players that are coming in, or just like from every level, from like brand new players, unknowns, to like the influencers and really known people that are jumping in, maybe they're from the league scene, finally jumping over and like, oh, I'm gonna try this out. The duo, they actually playing with another person. The more I thought about it, the more I'm like, wow, yeah, this really does, because like you, I'm used to just being able to control my whole team. That's just traditionally when it comes to like, when it came to tag fighters, that's how it goes. There wasn't another person that was outside from like Street Fighter X Tekken. There was another person that was there rocking out with you like that, or BB tag, right? And having another person with you on the early phases of learning fighting games is such a benefit because of things like you said. Like there's no 2 characters that you have to think of. No 2 styles that you have to, more mental stack that you have to put on yourself as one player to do, especially when you're new to it. Once again, we talked about it last episode, where jumping into a fighting game is already hard enough, but then jumping into a tag fighter is also, you're just asking for more, more variables, more things that you have to worry about in your head. And then you take half of that and you give it to your homie next to you. It's a bit of a relief. Really.
Not only that, getting your ass whooped by one person who's really good, you don't feel alone because you've been trying to communicate with someone. And I feel like players from other games like CS and League and Wild Rift or whatever, I think it works for them because they can use that communication to outthink. The 2 brains are stronger than one sometimes. Unless you're Sonic Fox, then
unless you got half a brain like me, then it's like you might not be there. Yeah. But you know what? Hey man, you both get your ass whooped by somebody. It's like when you like this is gonna, if anyone's ever experienced this, you know. If both of y'all like fail a test in school and you felt bad because like when you fail a test, you're like, oh, it's just you, and you're like, oh, I feel bad. Then your homie's like, don't worry, I failed too. You're like,
exactly.
Yeah, like you no longer feel as bad. I feel like you get the same feeling when you're doing duos. Because you're like, hey man, we both got it. You didn't block that mix up. Yeah, I didn't block that mix up either. It's cool. We'll figure it out later. Let's go on that very quiet ride home from the tournament and find out what we did wrong.
Yeah, but no, I will definitely say kudos to them for the gameplay mechanics. I think there's so much that it feels really, really rewarding to learn new things over time. I think that's the cool part, because like I sat there and I was like, I don't even know if anybody's found this tech, and I was like, it's catered towards like double down. So I was like, did anybody post it yet? I haven't seen anything. I've been seeing 2XKO everywhere. I was like, you know what? I'll just post it.
All right, so before we continue on more, because there's plenty more for us to talk about, we're going to take a quick break, guys. So when we get back, we got some more 2XKO to talk about until we get onto some EWC and all afterwards. But don't go anywhere. Meantime, see you guys in a bit. All right, and we are back with our I keep trying to go 2XKO Alpha Lab. There's just so many syllables. 2X Alpha Lab coverage, impressions, all that good stuff. Gameplay, duos, kind of being a component that I feel has been pretty well accepted. It's been fun to watch. It's interesting because I'm hearing like people are really like are posting up and just open letters to Riot, like, hey, like we should really try to push duos to be the norm, like really make it the norm. Even though 1v2 is fine, or 1v1 is also fine, like a lot of people are really pushing for duo. And I think it's just like a byproduct from what we said earlier about like, you playing with someone else does alleviate a lot of the pressure, because it's like you're only on when you're in kind of deal, right? Like, so it's like less to worry about, less pressure on yourself to do it. Which, I mean, it's fighting games. Traditionally, all the pressure is just on you and only you. So like having someone to play with you competitively, or not even just competitively, just in general, is going to help alleviate that. But with that, like you were just talking before with the break, we were talking about like content, man.
Yeah.
Content galore, right? Like everybody's pushing something with this game right now.
I think even if you hate it, I'm not a big fan of certain content creators. But I'm even watching their content like, man, I guess I could respond to them because this is actually pretty cool. Like, I'm maybe not there's probably, let's say, hypothetically, someone's not the biggest, like, I don't know, Justin Wong fan. I am a Justin Wong fan. But if there's somebody who wasn't, they might be because of 2XKO, because the doors are so open for creativity. Like, I know Sajam and I forgot who else he was playing with. They were fighting Sonic Fox. And they're doing a 2v1, and they're like, yo, we just want to get one game. We got one game off of him. That's all that matters. We're sweating hard. But that's really cool. I think so, yeah. No, I don't think it was James Croft. I think it was someone else. But like, it was cool to see stuff like that, because that means there's a whole nother dynamic for content. That's the biggest thing. And the length of the beta allows for this to happen too. Outside of tournaments, outside of like, people posting combo videos and touch of depths, I think the content creators are the true winners of this whole situation, because there's so much to do in this game. You can play with someone else that's a content creator. You can play with randos. Like, you can build real content off of this game. And who knows what else they might add if there's more availability to different game modes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, of course they're eating well, man. It's a new game, new content, and it's in the League IP. Yeah, they're gonna be eating.
It just doesn't get boring, well. To me, I don't think it's gonna get boring like that.
No, it's a tag fighter, man. We are still discovering stuff to this day on certain tag fighters that have been out for decades. We were just talking about that before. MVC2 is still getting developed now, just because there's more people getting their hands on it, right? Like it's crazy. But yeah, also, considering the Alpha Lab will continue on until the 19th, we got just a little under another week worth of games to play. I'm sure we're gonna be seeing a lot more. So we're talking all of the good stuff. Not to say there's terrible stuff, but there's things to work on, right? It is an alpha, so there are things that might not, there are things that we might not have seen come in. There are some things that might not be working as intended. But actually, before we get to that one, I want to say visibility. I want to give that a big plus. Unconquerable, the 2XKO team, they've been very much like watching. I mean, they want to be watching, because clearly this is the whole point, is to get this feedback. But they are very transparent in the communication about, hey, we understand, we've heard about this, we've heard about this, we've heard about this, just so you're aware. Accessibility as well has been another one. Like, hey, we see you guys. We see you guys, and we want to let you know that we know. And then they're even posting up blogs, like full postings, crazy switlongers with just all the information and feedback that they can give back. So I think their communication has just been outstanding with that. Yeah. So off the rip though, we all right. We're gonna go and hit the big items. So off the rip, let's go with the damage. The try and true. This game does too much damage.
Oh, I don't care.
Oh, Guilty Gear did it. Accent Core freaking did it. Street Fighter 6 was like it. Oh my God, we do too much damage. Is that what we're feeling here? That's the consensus here.
It's okay. So there's obviously a glitch the assist with
with the scaling.
People are using that, and it's like you're just gonna be that guy. Okay, great.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna block and punish you, and we'll be good to go because you didn't practice anything else. So that's fine. I'm fine with big damaging games. It's my fault I got hit in the first place.
Facts.
Yeah,
very much true.
However,
no truer facts have been spoken.
However, there are some cheap mechanics like the BB tag sort of system. You know how you can tag twice, handshake twice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Two-time handshake. That's pretty cheap. But again, it's part of the mix, right? Okay.
It's part of the fuse, baby. Yeah. It's part of the fuse.
Push block.
For me, the push block. What about it?
It's push block will get you out of it.
Okay. Now I want to talk about something else. You want to talk about the damage? Damage is not that big of a deal to me.
Okay. So what are you feeling, Mazza? Do you think the damage is too high?
I will say,
bug excluded.
Bug excluded. I think the damage is insane. But like,
for two life bars, we're trying to go back to Street Fighter X2, where every match is a fucking timeout.
I will say,
have you tried not getting hit? Like,
no. I'm the one doing it.
Not getting hit. Like,
no, so I love that it's so much damage. Like, I know Guilty Gear had like its insane damage, but I think it had other quirks that made it bad, right? But for this, I like when I see somebody explode, I kind of laugh. Because I'm like, this is just like League. I was like, you just get bursted, so it doesn't matter.
The League experience.
So you're going to respawn next game.
I have a take. The thing is, I don't mind the damage if you're working hard for the damage. It's when you're not working hard for the damage that gets on my nerves. So for instance, that bug. I see an Alawi just do moves into that bug and then do like 3 more moves and I'm dead. That I can't stand. Like it's just literally moves. It's nothing hard.
I don't. Gabe, you're playing the wrong game, bro. Wait. And I'm not talking about 2X. You should not play Marvel then. If that is your thought process right now, my friend.
X Factor's easy, I know, but just say it. I have 3 times to get hit. In this game, at least there are rounds with each life bar. Like I actually like that too, even though sometimes I forget. I'm like, oh, that was just round 1. Gee.
I shouldn't have bursted there.
I definitely think the damage is high. Yes, the combos. Okay, so let me just say this right off the bat. I don't care how long your combo is. The fact that I found a 16-hit combo that does 800 damage and it costs you only 3 bars for free. Yeah, no, I don't think you need to worry about how long the damn combo is or how short it is or how damaging it is. You're going to take damage in this game if you are not playing neutral. This is a heavy neutral game, and it reminds me of how Marvel was. You got hit, you were probably losing that character. All right, just accept that. But I think in the beginning, it's about finding the right battery, stuff like that. So I think the damage is very, very insane. I think people would want to have more interactions. So that is a bad part where I feel like combos need to stop. Like it shouldn't be like a 65 hit combo. I'm sorry, it really shouldn't. That's a really big turnoff. Not for me, because I like seeing the cool stuff like that and the creativity, but those things need to prorate scale hard.
But for people that are coming in, like I've seen these posts where some people just are getting upset. They're like, they get touched and then they just they don't get to do anything, right? Outside of one burst, right, that you get, there's nothing you can do. You're literally watching a movie into an actual cutscene afterwards, probably with a level 3 or something. But that is honestly a part that is also a byproduct of this other kind of component that I think was kind of a bit of a miss. But once again, it's an alpha, so they're just testing certain things or they're going for certain directions here. But it was the lobby imbalance. There is no skill matchmaking in this. Yeah. Like there is no, like the guys that are jumping in for the first time, they're getting put in with whoever the fuck's on the other side of that cap, which could be someone that's a 10-year vet, pro player, someone who's played every fighting game that has come out in the past 5-7 years, and they're just gonna get beat the fuck up. Like there's just no, outside of you knowing, like you calling your friend or hitting them up and like arranging that, like it's a dice roll there.
So it's funny because like when I played last night, I fought a duo, and for me, I'm not like the person who's like, oh, I'm gonna do these like 50 hit combos to kill you. I'm like, I want to simplify it, and I want to go for, I'm a set play type player, so I would do combos that were like maybe 20-25 hit long, and then I'd do set play, and at the end of the match, the person was like, he was like, dude, you're a combo monster. And I'm like, oh, you've never seen a combo monster then, because like there are people way worse than me that are going to touch you and it's going to go longer. But I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, some of these people are taking it pretty well, depending on the degree of the combo. But I feel like
you tend to find who's like built for this and who's not.
Oh yeah, when you kill the first person, when you kill the first character and the second character just stands there, you know you did something wrong.
But the reason why I say this, I also think it's because the fuse system. Now I know people really like it, and I really like it, but I think the fuse system has two problems. One, it's really overwhelming for some of the fuses, such as like 2x assist, freestyle. It is very, very hard for new players to learn how to defend against and to block, right? I with all the defensive options that are great, it's just really difficult. I haven't seen people push blocking enough because maybe they don't want to waste a meter or something like that. So they
might not even remember.
Yeah,
they might not even remember, dog. It's a lot of mechanics, a lot of things they are dealing with. So it's kind of, sometimes you just will forget.
But I also feel with that, there's also like this other side where I feel like there's also not enough complexity amongst the fuses. And with me saying that, it's like the pulse fuse, which is like the beginner fuse, which is like modern. Yeah. I think it's
modern control.
Absolutely terrible for the type of game they designed. Why would you make it twice as easy to do stuff when it's already pretty damn easy for a beginner? Like, I mean, if Lily Pichu could pick up the game and just light, medium, heavy into like launcher, I think anyone can do that. And I even suggest that double down assist, which is the DHC version. I was like, that should have been the base one that they recommended for everyone to start off with, and take that pulse shit out of here. Like the auto combo concept, that's what people were really bitching about a long time ago. But now like it's kind of weirdly rewarded and it's not good. Like, I don't understand. I don't get that.
It's the closest you're getting to, you know, they clearly, you know, the goal is to make it an accessible fighter.
Why not just make modern controllers then?
Well, that's what Pulse represents. Pulse Fuse is supposed to represent modern controls, or as close as possible.
It says big damage, but it's not. That's what I don't understand. You see what I'm saying? Like, we're talking about a game
to you, it might not seem like big damage. To you, let me finish. To you, it might not be big damage, but to that beginner who hasn't landed a combo before, who doesn't know anything about scaling, who doesn't know anything about optimizing, having a fuse that gives them access to 250 damage is like, holy shit, look at that. I now went from a beginner to I'm a four touch player now.
Well, if they hit
and they have to eventually graduate to the 2-touch, or maybe the eventual one.
I guess I see where you're coming from. I just think that like double down is kind of that already, where it goes, super into this super, right? Which is simple.
I think I'm with you. I like the idea of double down being maybe like that default instead of Fury, because Fury, it's like, I get it too, because Pulse.
Fury is the one where you have the FADC after 40% and your health is low and you get bonus damage. I think that shit sucks.
Is that not the default that like it's
it's default? No, Pulse is the default. Pulse is the one where all the buttons are auto combo buttons.
Okay. Yo, I know that. It's just
you're thinking like
previous build. Yeah. I think the previous build had Fury, because Fury this is the first build to have. Yeah, this is the first build that actually had Pulse. So I didn't realize they changed Pulse as the default one. Okay. Well, regardless, I like that Pulse is the default, because it is just that. It is supposed to be that gateway for that beginner. It's just, you know, like that is the point, is to give them that rewarded feeling as fast as possible, because you don't want to be caught. You don't want to catch. If your goal is to bring the casual in, to bring the people that have never hit this bar of, like, for one, maybe that feeling of rewarding, of putting that work in and getting that return on, you don't want to still keep it so far out their reach. So Pulse is supposed to be able to help accelerate that. Because once you get that feeling, that person that I've already read like Reddit posts about it. Like, some people are like, I don't get how you could deal with losing. Some people's reposts or replies are like, once you get to that one point where you get a win, it doesn't matter how long it takes. Like, that feeling will really stick with you and it'll make you want to stay and chase it. And they even said, they were like, my record was 1-61 before I got my first match, and they said it was like 10 in Street Fighter 5. I was like, good lord, like, by 30 I would have at least, like, I might have left. I might have maybe uninstalled, I don't know.
It's one hella hard boss fight.
But that's, you know, that's a fighter right there. But like, yeah, Pulse I think is supposed to be doing that, which, you know, makes sense. But I do think what you said, the fuse system might be a little overwhelming though. But I think the fuse system is still a component that you'll get to after you get through things like picking your character, picking your first and your second character, your combos and your synergies. Like fuses don't really come into that equation yet. Like you're not even thinking about it until you kind of have at least a grip on the characters.
I guess it works for two people who are new. I just wanted to say that.
For sure.
Wrongs for me. Button layout sucks.
I don't think you can avoid that, bro. I don't think you can avoid that.
You can definitely avoid it. I think there's a way you can avoid it. Default, I don't like it. I'm like that dude. Oh my gosh, that one comedian that was in Spider-Man. He stinks, and I don't like him. I forget his name, but anyway, he's a roast comedian. He's funny. All right, I don't like. I like the ABC. That's Marvel-esque. That's fine.
Classic.
I just have S1 and S2 are down here. And then right here, it would be the tag. And over here is the H. And then I didn't set up anything over here, which would be the macros.
What Gabe is describing real quick, he's talking about his top 4 row of buttons on your arcade stick. And you have another row,
R1,
right?
Yep. And then X circle and R2 on the bottom.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah.
Make sure
okay. Sorry, for those that are listening, yes.
Exactly.
Those are listening. I'm pretty sure on default. So it's like ABC on the top 3, S1, S2 are the bottom 2, and then tag on the bottom third. My thing is I kept playing like Marvel 2. No, sorry, not Marvel. Yes, sort of like Marvel 2, and also like Under Night in Birth because I was recently playing that. I don't like where grab is being on the top end, the top 2 ends. That's really difficult for me. But also in Jabril's tweet about the game, grabs didn't feel strong at all. They have a hard knockdown, but I'm still like, it's not a priority at this point unless somebody's just, blocking in a while. And I'm like, hey, where's grab? Let me just go ahead and use it. Or if they're doing it to me, and then I'll remember, oh yeah, I can tech grabs. But I'm used to Marvel 3 where my S button, the X, is usually like the last button I want to push or something along those lines.
Because it's usually your launcher.
Right. And that's where I might want to put my tag button. But the problem with doing that is the S1 is also the burst. I'm sorry, S2 is the burst with the tag button. So that's down here. And if I move anything around, then my throw will be thrown off. Unless I put it as a macro.
Yeah, and then I was going to say, have you tried macroing?
I don't want to.
That sounds like a you problem, dog.
Well, obviously, that
was the most subjective piece of this.
He was so good at first.
You could have picked.
He was so fine at first until he's like, no, I don't want to do macro.
I was gonna ask, you can't change your buttons, like
you can change.
But then there's also like I said, there was throw, and then the parry I believe is square and R1, right?
Yeah.
Which can also be macroed, obviously. But then the burst, I don't know if that could be macroed. But then it's just like the special buttons, I really don't like that. So I'm using Yasuo. Yasuo has special buttons that use the light, mediums, and heavies. And sometimes I do get that confused where I'm still either maybe it's an execution thing, but if I'm still doing something, I want to use H and I get confused and I go ahead and use S2 and the combo messes up or something along those lines. Like, I would like there maybe in the future for there to be a controller layout that can allow for us to use some sort of inputs with the lights and mediums and the heavies.
I actually know what.
Maybe, yeah.
I can actually say it the best way possible that I heard it from someone who has never played a versus game like this. They said, I'm so confused sometimes because I want to tag, but then I'm using like S2, or there's just too many fucking buttons I'm hitting. And that, I will tell you, it normally shouldn't be a common thing. Because if you play Street Fighter, it's very simple, right? Yes. It's a controller, basically. It's better for controller players. I definitely would say... Oh, you think it's worse?
Yes. Yes, I do. Because they're heavy punches up here.
Oh, no.
R1.
Pad.
It's still...
I know it's the base.
Come on, man.
But Pad B actually fixes that very much.
Where's your S1 and S2 go?
On the triggers.
No.
Bro, this is... Gabe, both of y'all are arguing for something that is literally a preference thing.
Yeah,
though. Like
I'm just.
this
No,
is not a cemented piece of the system. This is like a preference. It sounds like, Gabe, you need to add buttons to your fucking joystick and
I
start
haven't tried it on
shit.
pad. I just don't know, because then it's also the UI. Talking about the menuing, it's hard to find out where to actually make it. Even though I found it myself, you got to go all the way somewhere else and then be the custom, and then you have to also adjust it on there too. I don't know what it's like on PS5. It might be difficult, it might be easier.
It's the same actually.
I don't know.
It's the same configuration, but
so
yeah.
There's also things. It was things that also took me a little while to get used to, and I'm still messing up. However, another wrong for me, honestly. Again, these are things that I can fix, and that's fine. Another thing that's wrong. I think the game is trying to be accessible, but it's not necessarily easy. Like we said, we already mentioned, it's hard to when we run into like somebody who knows what they're doing and you're getting your ass whooped. You're like, geez, I wonder if I'm having a hard time. I wonder if my neighbor who just got the code for the first time on their first game is having a harder time or not. I'm just saying there's no neighbor that has the game. I'm the best on my block. Tutorial, like, to me, the tutorial was bare bones as hell.
Yeah, I heard sentiments at the tutorial. Once again, yes, true, alpha.
It can be an alpha, but please, if you're gonna have a tutorial, show me where the burst is, because it took me about an hour to find out where it was in the middle of a game. And I'm like, where is the burst? Where is the burst indicator? Didn't know it was under the health bar. So that's where some UI issues come up.
It's funny.
I know where it is now. I'm
gonna strike that from the record. It's an alpha, and not even a beta.
That's fine. I'd rather them label it and be like, "Here's your little stuff."
No, they don't have to do shit. It is. He's like alpha.
He said support came in 2 days and fixed something. All right, you can't
sit down
anything.
and play the fucking game. Just sit down and play the game.
That's how I feel about alphas. Like, and I can understand why certain people will feel that way about alphas and betas, that they need to be developed a bit more, because for a while, let's be real, companies were using their betas as selling techniques. I mean, sometimes they'll use it just to get you to pre-order a game. So I get it. But the reality of the situation of an alpha, you are lucky it didn't crash. Like,
there you go. Which could happen.
They told you how to not crash it as well.
There you go.
Also,
at least they told you that.
Yeah, they put that in the Twitter spots and all of that. However, with the tutorial being a little bit bare bones, maybe the tutorial just wasn't for me per se. I also did pick at the start. It asked you if you're a medium, intermediate, or expert sort of level ranked player. I picked. Of course, I picked. What you think? What you think? I'm a scrub, despite what Tong Lee says. I did, of course, because I play ranked a lot.
I will say my biggest gripe was probably the infinite lobby sessions. So like there was times where I did want to queue up for a match, and then maybe I just wanted to watch something while queuing up and wait for someone to eventually jump on the cab and play, or to match up against me, and then we go jump on a cab and play, and it felt like maybe 10, and this is obviously will probably change in the future, but it's like 10-15 minutes, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm in a locked lobby where everybody's not getting up to play other people. And that's what I didn't like, was infinite matches. So like at one point I had to set a hard fast rule for myself. I was like, I'll either play this person 2 out of 3 if I think they're okay and I don't want to ruin their experience of me just like running through them. And then there's people who I'm like, okay, you're reasonable, or you seem like you want to keep going. I'll play you 3 out of 5 and maybe a little bit more, but I got to get off this cab so I can play other people, get other experiences, and I want that for you too. Some people did like, it was like, what was the point of private? You didn't even need private. You just play casuals and you just sit in the lobby the whole time. It was a little silly.
So you mean to tell me that they gave you the option to play the game the way that you wanted to play it, and that's a problem?
They gave you a chance to play the game infinitely? No.
Because you could get up. They didn't lock you there, right? Like nobody from Riot was like in Mez's background with a gun, with a gun to his head. Like right now, like, off stream, somebody's gonna come just a hand to Mez's, to Mez's head right there. They didn't like make you do it, but like
I just don't want people running from me. Don't run from me, all right? That's what I'm saying. Like I don't.
Well, that's how they want to play the game.
When you're on fire
and learn something.
When they see that fire and you're on that streak, bro, don't nobody want to come near you. They don't want to smoke.
I'm just gonna say this. There's some people there's some people in the lobby I was in. They were like, "Yo, we taking that away from you. We don't want you to have that."
I don't know. I'm constantly hitting rematch, buddy.
So the lobby system. Let me ask you this, and I mean, this is. There's no guarantee that this is like the way it's going to be. Or actually, we know this is probably not the way it's going to end up, right? Like they're going to make changes to the lobby system. Did they just put you into a lobby, or can you join a lobby?
Random.
It's random.
I think
this is an opportunity for them to like allow you to make lobbies yourself so that people can join. And the reason you'd want to do that is because there are going to be players that I really don't feel like sweating today. I just feel like pressing some buttons. I feel like playing. Let me hop into a lobby that I know is going to be kind of like that. It's going to be cool. It's going to be chill. It's going to be casual. But like if you want to hop into a lobby with the sweats, then go ahead and hop into the lobby with the sweats. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody's on fire.
Yeah.
I don't mind. Well, there's also private lobbies. That's funny, by the way. Crash tag. I did post in the Discord if y'all want to see. Like, there's an input of a fireball in the private lobby, and I said, "How does this game not have any inputs?" And this
oh my gosh,
freaking down forward is in here. It was just funny. It was just a funny, like, it wasn't a gripe. It was just
it's a fucking gripe for me. Where's my inputs? All right, there's sometimes I be trying to do inputs and I don't get no fucking inputs, man.
I've moved on from it. I guess
I have a question that before we close this out, because this was something interesting that I had read, and like obviously all the awesome feedback we get for everyone that's been playing. You know how we were just talking about fuses and it being beginner friendly? What if there was a fuse that allowed for just motion inputs?
Oh, I'd fucking play it instantly. Lose everything else, play that? Yeah, I'm down. 100%.
Really? For motion inputs?
Well,
I don't think I wouldn't.
This is the hill we're dying on.
So here's the thing.
You have no idea how many times I've tried to input an input for a fireball that's not there.
So I haven't used Pulse yet. And I haven't I'm sure there's a way to like sort of look through Pulse and find maybe even more I don't want to say benefits, but even like more different routes in it, because
there's some optimizations in it,
right? And you don't think so, Meza?
No, I actually sat down with it and I was thinking like, oh, this is probably like modern from like Street Fighter 6, and it might actually be really good like Street Fighter 6. And as I started playing it, I was like, oh shit, this really locks me into like, if I hit light, it's going to be a light combo. If I do medium, it's going to go into a super. If I do heavy, so it goes into medium goes into super one.
You can mix it, right?
Yeah, but I didn't see the
enough
benefit. I really think it is just strictly for beginners to be able to just not have to do the combo. I'm be honest. It just allows them to get to the damage they want, but it's very minimal.
Which is fine, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I'm just saying there's no it's not gonna get more optimized.
It might be character specific though. One character might benefit from it going straight into super, into a move that might not drop. Like maybe a restand combo, which I don't think exists right now. Or maybe even just off of Braum doing some sort of wall carry and says, you know what, I don't want to drop this because I know it might drop if I do it. But if I do the Pulse Johns, it's going to hit.
Let the AI do it.
For something like Ari, I could see that being helpful because her combos are a lot more strict. Same with maybe Echo or even Yasuo. I think that's the only benefit. Is it going to do more damage? I don't know, but that's for someone else to figure out because I do not care about Pulse. I hope they do figure it out.
I might go to Pulse because I'm not even using a lot of the fuse benefits. Like I'm not using the double assist. I'm not using the DHC. Like I might even just go with the X Factor fuse because
please don't.
I need damage and I like doing Rekka, move forward, Rekka.
Just do double assist, my guy.
Yasuo can do Yasuo can do a cross up and then push forward if he's lower than 40 health. That's pretty cheap. All right, moving on.
It is pretty cheap, but I don't know if it's going to be cheap enough, but we want to hear from you guys. What are your early impressions on 2XKO Alpha Lab? If you had a chance to get in it, let us know. We're going to be putting up a poll on this for this question this week on all socials, of course, on Discord and all. But let us know, what are your early impressions? If you like it or you don't like it, we'll post this up. We want to hear from you guys. All right, now that that's out of the way, because damn, that was a lot to get into. We do have some EWC to get into after this quick break. We'll be right back after this, guys, so don't go anywhere. See you guys soon. All right, guys, even though we're done that 2XKO talk, I do have a quick question for y'all. We did have a poll last week. It is, what do you guys like to focus on in tag fighters? Because there is a whole recipe for this. We asked you guys, is it character knowledge? Is it combos? Is it team synergy? Or is it anything else? We've got the overall consensus to team synergy. Now, a bit of a shocker there. Kind of want to make sure your team, your player A, player B, your squad can actually have some sort of synergy. Or otherwise you're kind of you're working with two individual characters and not, or however many individual characters, and not really a team. So that, not really outside of the realm of the norm there. But on top of that, we did ask you guys though, who were you maining for 2XKO Alpha Lab? If you got in, hopefully you did. And we took to you guys to see, and we've got some answers here. We got some from Spotify. Palpiters states Alawi Braum day one. Not really a bad combination there. Alawi does hella damage. Braum does a lot of damage. His assist seems pretty ridiculous. Just constantly pushing you to the wall, and then imagine having tentacles just having to deal with in the meantime. And now the grab game is also, the tick throw game is insane. Yeah, not a bad team at all. Gangaman hits us on our Discord telling us he's locked in on Darius Alawi with double down. Darius putting that bleed, crazy damage, some kind of wild not even 50-50, he's got some crazy choices when he does the apprehend, right? Where he can grab you, he can like headbutt you, which is gapless. Then there's like another one that can catch like anyone jumping out. And you got double down, which means you're gonna be able to DHC. Yeah, that's a big cash out. That is damage, which is what Gangaman seems to want to go for. And Virtual Kazamos says, so far I'm digging the Darius Braum team, but I'm not finalized on them yet. Hey man, you've got other characters to mess with. I don't think there really is a bad, I can't say there's a bad team right now. It's only 6 characters. That is a good amount of combinations, but there's still much more to explore. But that's what people are rocking right now. Appreciate you guys hitting us up and answering that question for last week. Let's jump into some EWC, guys. Esports World Cup is over for Street Fighter 6. Anyway, we checked out the group stage when it got announced last week. I don't know about you guys, but I did not expect this to go down the way that it did. We had some insane matches. I got to check out a good amount of it. I don't know about y'all, but I got to check out a good amount of it. Whenever I had the chance, I was just having it on my phone or something like that. Luckily, being in this side of the world, it's not that crazy of a time difference for me, so I lucked out there. But yo, I standout players. There's just so many of them I can post up about.
Hikaru was phenomenal. I felt so I had already predicted back in CEO that Aki I thought was going to be in top 8 of CEO. It didn't end up happening, but I did see the potential of what Aki was doing after the first patch. And by God, in the words of Jim Ross, you knew she would be a problem. But Hikaru showed did you see, by the way, the video that Ryan Hart put out of Hikaru actually doing a confirm off of like a stray fireball into the corner? It's phenomenal. The dude is a genius. How old is he? He looks like he's very young.
I don't know about his birthday or his social security, but I do know about that anti-air fireball conversion. Because actually, he's not the only character that did it. Like there was another one with Ken that happened several times. I forget
Xiaohai was doing that, and so was Xiaohai, and so was Ryukichi, I believe. Ryukichi, his name was Ryu, but it was shout outs to the guy in Discord who said his name is Ryu, but he's using Ken. It's hilarious.
Oh yeah, that's right. There was some young man reactions and conversions going on there throughout the whole series.
There were I don't know how much spoilerish we're gonna get into here. Are we going all the way?
All right. This is y'all warning right now. We're talking results. This is your warning. You got 3.
Wait. Before you do that, can I?
1. It's been done. We're in spoiler territory.
Can I note before the actual tournament proceeded, I gotta commend Dual Kevin for playing against Daigo so well, even though he fought Daigo at the worst time when Daigo was finally like, oh, I'm here, I'm waking up, and it was like, damn,
he actually took a nap.
So I just wanted to say that. But other than that, I would just say my favorite probably the whole tournament had to probably be Lashar. Just watching his Ed play was pretty interesting because I didn't expect to see him on Ed.
Yeah, Lashar was rocking out.
What's funny is
very well.
I believe the 3 of the LCQs made it past their groups. So like Lashar, Dual Kevin, and the other one, the one that's not NL. NL beat Punk, however, but also lost his group. So there were. Yeah. I didn't like that the groups. I thought the groups were going to be round robin. I didn't like that you were able to actually fight them again. For instance, I almost said JB, but Lex, his brother, had thrown Problem X to losers, and then had to play Problem again, and Problem X won.
Yeah.
Ooh, that one hurt. That one really hurt, and I didn't like that you could double jeopardy. Yeah. Because in a round robin, if you know that you're better than the one player, you know what I mean, and you can move on because of that. Like,
do you know you're the better player? I don't know, but I think
you beat them in that scenario.
Yeah, gotcha. In that instance, in that scenario, you were the better player. Yeah. I think that's the difference between a standard round robin and the GSL style that they used. That was the format that they went off of. But the last chance qualifiers, those guys were hot. But that last bracket, that third phase bracket, was like not even like a joke, dude. Angry Bird, Tachikawa, Ryukichi, Kawano, Hikaru, Xiaohai, Higuchi, and Gachaku. Yeah, making it there. Noah was really close. Shout outs to Noah.
Yeah,
being
dude.
The U.S. representative, the longest run.
Hold up, his match with Itabashi Zangief was a straight clencher. Yeah. I'm like, I can't move. He got the perfect anti-air on the uncertain buttons, and I think Itabashi even did an EX lariat, and it just
that's been a discussion, man. People are like, yo, he EX'd. That's like being the big thing. It's like Zangief doesn't have an anti-air. This is like the best he has, and it's like you're spending resource. You should at least be able to have traded or not traded or like win. I think it just like was a clean hit. Like Jumping Fierce just like beat it outright. So those are the two camps that have been going on. That match has caused a lot of debating online for that, which has been really, really cool to watch.
There were many moments that I had to slow down the footage to see what exactly happened. There is a match. It's probably the best match throughout. It happened in the last top 8 in the single elimination part, which was Ryuki. It was Xiaohai versus Hikaru. And I believe that the score was about 3-1, 3-2, where there was pixel health, and Hikaru he parried a fireball. And then obviously Xiaohai sees, okay, he's in parry mode, he's gonna drive rush. Anything he does, and then it was almost as if the screen went black for the drive rush, and he instantly did the run DP into super.
He didn't even confirm that. He just did it.
I'm like, you're a monster. You're a genius, an evil genius.
Yeah, he didn't, and that match was instrumental because Xiaohai had to come back from like a 3-1,
4-2,
a 3.
It was 3-1, then it was
3-1, and then 4,
then 4-2,
exactly,
and all the way back.
Then he ran it back afterwards, like that. Like, bro, the mental capacity.
You know what it was?
The fortitude to rock that.
It was the wife power up.
It does work.
It works.
It's not even. I don't want to say. I want to make it too general as the wife power up. It's just you got the girly or you got the whoever in the bleachers power. You're like, yo, I'm not going out. Like, no, bitch. Wow. Home girl, boy, whoever's in the bleachers is here watching
and
me.
And she's cheering too for you.
It's like she's gorgeous. In Nacho Libre.
Shout out to you, Xiaohai. Goddamn.
Xiaohai. You know what? I think I've ever seen her. Or
that's the first time.
Is this her first time watching him in tournament as well?
Don't know. But that is definitely a buff.
Unless she was at Evo and we didn't know.
Right. He did win KOF. That's right.
Can I state for the record, I feel like this is becoming a new staple everywhere around the world. It's not just fighting games, but other things too, and Olympics, other stuff, where they're doing round robins as kind of like the definitive answer. I don't know if that's the way the FGC should take their games, but I do find it a little bit more interesting because I do feel like you're looking for the best player, right? You're hitting all the cylinders and consistency, right? So
you kind of get the most. For one, you get the most matches, right? That you have to play there, but you also do get the most combinations of like, because the try true, like, if this person met this person in the bracket, it wouldn't have worked out that way.
Yeah.
This kind of helps alleviate that before you hit bracket, right? Where it's like, well, this person did play this person and this person, and it, like, guarantee you're not playing everyone because obviously you're still group stages, but like it does give you a good consistent ride to see who can run, kind of a gauntlet like that.
However, I'll do give it credit. It does mitigate the times that you have to watch matches that are basically aren't important or don't matter, because in this case, every match sort of mattered. In a round robin, you might have cases where people are just fighting for points, and then they might collude, but they might push the C character,
phone it in a little bit.
Yeah. So I that was one thing I would give this format.
Yeah,
got you.
It is interesting. I would like to see this format used again. Maybe I can't say Evo; it's too big. But something more invitational.
Invitationals. Yeah,
more invitational
for sure.
using this.
CPT could probably use this, because remember we had those groups that were going on for days. It was a whole week of CPT, and we're like,
yeah, CPT's a whole.
You're like, I already lost, and I gotta play tomorrow on stage.
But yeah, so this all cultivated into Kawano versus Xiaohai in grand finals.
I have to say, Kawano was my favorite to win at that point. Like in that top 8, like I already saw like Tachikawa was putting on work with Modern. Like,
oh yeah,
dear God. But yeah, go ahead. You can talk about the finals.
Thank you for letting me talk about the finals.
Not bad.
But yeah, no, Akuma versus Bison, bro. Like, it was, Kawano was no slouch, of course, but like Xiaohai was, outside of Hikaru, who I was like, I actually had my money on Hikaru, because I was like, bro, this man came out for violence today. Like, he was playing out of his damn mind. And I thought it was a wash with Xiaohai. I was like, yo, 3-1, like, we're already,
he had a set point like 3 times.
Once he came back, I was like, yo, this guy, I think this guy's the truth now. Like, I think that's it. Like, it just flipped there. No different here. I think like Kawano, I think at the first match, like just barely, because like I think every match was just literally. Actually, no. Someone, Xiaohai did get a double P. He got a double. Yeah. Once he got a double P, I was like, yeah, yo, this is curtains. Like, there's no coming back. But there was only like one, or two 2-0s back and forth between the two. But like Bison, bro, we talked about him before. The damage, the conversions, and then you got Akuma is on the other side. Mr. Glass Cannon, Mr. I don't clearly have lotion on my skin, and it just looks terrible. Like, yeah, it was just anytime he got touched, blew up, just blew the hell up.
I believe Kawano. Oh, and the very last sequence, so he was burnt out, and you saw Kawano sort of like react to the drive impact with super, but I slowed it down, if you slowed it down, he's in the middle of grab, bro. He's not getting super out. It literally says counter hit, but you see the grab reach
right before,
and I'm like, oh buddy, there was no super was coming out there, man.
And Kawano was testing Xiaohai too in some of those instances where Xiaohai is clearly buffering, like, yo, like don't do it. He's hitting him with like the dirty Harry, like, yeah, make my day, bro. Try me right now. And he actually tried to impact him, and it was just like, I'm gonna just super right through you, just and close out the round. I'm like, dude, don't. This guy, he's got it. He's got wifey in the bleachers, like, and he's in grand finals. This is not the guy that you want to be testing like that.
I just want to say that I feel like it's so weird watching Xiaohai play not Cammy. Right?
Yeah,
it's weird because like you would think this would have been the game for him to play Cammy, and it just never clicked. So it's very interesting to see that like Bison was the one, right?
He saw
completely, virtually the opposite of Cammy, but he's aggressive at times too. So.
I mean, he's used to picking different characters from KOF, and the KOF players, they've been in this particular game, they've been picking different characters every season. Like, oh, he got a buff, I'm going over there, or like he can adapt really quick. I mean, for him to go from Kenda to Bison is crazy.
Yeah.
I'll also
Bison was disgusting.
I'll also say I think it didn't hit him that he won. Like, and if it did, it was like, finally, I've waited so damn long to just get that one. And his speech was sick.
His speech
every
was
time
amazing, because it said what was on everybody's mind. Because he went from, I think it was when he lost. It was like after he lost to, I forget what the Ibuki player was, in CEO, where he got throw looped. he just looked so defeated at every tournament after that, to the point where he looked almost older. And because he always
playing fighting games ages you, dog.
Yeah, but he always looked younger. And come to find out in the speech, he said he's 35, so he's just a year older than me. But like, I felt like he wears it on his face, well, his dress of the games. So for the past couple years, he's been looking like he's coming back and a bit more spry, but he's always like losing or winning against ET at E.
Listen, now you're playing Street Fighter and KOF, my dude. Like you go eat that man's gonna be like, hey, welcome, nice to meet you, elderly sir. Like, sorry, I'm 37.
Right, yeah. But I used to say that, man, he doesn't. He either ages or he aged too much, or man, like what's going on with him? I used to say, and I was like, when he said, I am of, people say I'm too old to win, and I still got it, and I almost welled up. I welled up a little bit. I was like, God, man.
He said it with his chest too. He's like, I proved myself. He did. Evo champ, and now winning EWC. And also, it's a really interesting story, right? Because he had that like small beef or whatever going on with Punk for a bit. They squashed it since, which is awesome. Yes. And Punk ended up winning Evo, right? And then of course they had that little spit back when Chahak actually lost, and Punk was, I don't know if they had squashed the beef from there, but there's video of it where we kind of talk shit about it. But it seems like they've been cool since, because now there was a picture of them like just giving each other, getting dabbed up and hugging it out afterwards, like appreciating it.
Hey, we both won. We finally call it quits.
Hell yeah, basically, like
what we fighting for? We got all the money we need.
Punk and Bird got duffed though. Oof.
Yeah, they got dissolved. But hey, you win some, you lose some.
I'm just gonna say this: Bonchan.
Oh yeah,
that was so weird. That like, just in general, how he was off the map for a hot minute, just out of nowhere.
Yeah. He couldn't make Evo because he posted up he had like neck issues, so he took his health as priority, which won't knock him for that. Yeah, fighting games will be here. Don't worry. But yeah, so EWC concluded.
It was a good watch.
It was a great watch. Yeah. I enjoyed. I know you talked about this earlier. I know you were like, oh, I don't get the whole trophies. Yo, I think the trophies were actually really cool. I love the idea that like if we win, I'm taking your medallion, your piece. I'ma crush it. And I believe they're doing this too with fighting games. Yeah, they're gonna melt it, and it's actually gonna be part of the foundation to the trophy. So you get to like your trophy's like. Yeah, I got so-and-so's piece here, so-and-so's piece here. It is literally the Game of Thrones of trophies. However, it's just not swords. It's just that.
There was just a weird pomp and circumstance feel to a lot of it. Like when they were all coming out, I'm like, "Where's the Macho Man theme? Somebody play it for me."
I know.
And just the presentation of it all. Like, come on, there was all the D-pads and controllers and like even when the commentary was playing, remember they were like, oh yeah, we're gonna play some Street Fighter 6. They were even putting the cameras on the controllers and then get like accidental shots of, anyway, doesn't matter. But it was just like, what is the point of just like the controller? Is it cheating? Is it not? And I'm just like,
hey, it is your weapon. It is your weapon, sir. It is your gun. You're going to war. That is what you use. So you got to make sure you get a good look at it, I guess.
I just don't understand.
They're trying to reach out to probably an audience that isn't probably like, wow, video games, right? Because keep in mind, there's other sports that they do have control over that do really well. So I'd imagine
it was more focused on the teams-based stuff as well. They were more focused on those team scores. Another thing is during the Nakodu match, he did push the PS button. He took the fault for it. I wanted to see if they were recording the actual hands, see if his hand did hit it, like use that for a replay maybe. I think that could have been the angle they could have used.
There he is, right here, starting. Let's look at it. Oh, and that's when he lost the match.
Yeah, I mean, he comes out with a red flag. He's like,
throw the flag and everything.
And then you don't have to determine, oh, hey, was that you? Was that not you?
Here.
That is a good point. That is a good point, because they did have two cameras on, one for their hands and one for the actual players. But
you know what? Lack of use. That's all. They just needed you there, Dre. That's it.
Yeah. Besides all that, I think overall it ended up being a good event. We've talked about some of the other production parts in our last episode. If you want to go check some of that, go for it. But we do still have Tekken 8 to look into, because Tekken 8 EWC is happening. Yeah, Street Fighter wasn't the only one, baby. We still coming back right to that big old stage with all them LEDs. right back on it. That is going to be happening. Let me just double check when, just to make sure I'm correct here. That is starting on the 22nd of this month, and it's going to be continuing until the 25th. So we're going to be getting the same format, same idea. There's going to be the last chance qualifier, and then they're actually going to have the phases, and then we'll actually have the actual event itself. Actually, wait, did the last chance qualifier actually already did happen? No,
it happens generally around the same, like around that week.
It's like right before it. Yeah, I wasn't sure 100%. Yeah, so we still got Tekken 8, so we're gonna be coming back to EWC later this month to check out some good ass Tekken for sure. In the meantime, though, let's roll it into our next topic, which is interesting. It might not necessarily affect, but it could affect. So, WB Discovery, excuse me, let me get that correct. WB Discovery looking to sell off their games division. I mean, other divisions as well, but including their games division, which that maybe. Wait, well, yeah, they're looking. They're looking. Excuse me. Allegedly, maybe they might. Who knows? Probably. The reason this is coming up is because they just had a really bad they've had a really bad time. They've had a really bad financial year. They've been, what was it? They were overvalued or something like that, I believe was
the valuation changed.
The valuation.
This isn't like a media industry podcast, so I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty of details of it, especially since I probably won't even explain it that great. But their properties were valued at one value, and then some. I'm not gonna say it's not like politics, but some things changed with their programming, and now they're valued lower. So they lost I think the value of their properties is down like by 10 billion or something like that, or close to it. So they're checking the couches. They're checking the couches for change.
Yeah, right? You gotta find the change. You gotta find the loose change.
It's time. Marvel, where you at?
So they're looking for it. So they're looking for, they gotta kind of, recoup, or they gotta balance things out. But the big thing, the reason we bring it up here on this fighting game podcast,
Disney, please,
is because there are some studios that affect us, right? Just like things like, I don't know, a little studio called NetherRealms that, is currently the ones that are dealing with Mortal Kombat 1, right? They might end up getting sold somewhere for all we know. Another one, Multiversus, the game that just can't catch a fucking break. in many, not only did they go through the acquisition of getting put into WB Discovery, they could potentially now be getting axed from being part of WB afterwards.
Damn, they're gonna lose all their possible characters. I don't even, maybe
Tony, holy. All right, so let's just some details there as to why. So let's be clear here, because John's also been very clear with us about this. Just because the studios are being sold does not mean things like the IPs, which these games are based off of, right? Because Warner Brothers owns Mortal Kombat, the IP. Warner Brothers owns the various characters that are in Multiversus, right? If the studios go, there's a chance that these IPs might not be able to go with them if there's no deal that gets struck with it.
Oh, it was not a chance. There is no chance.
There's no chance.
The IPs themselves have a ton of value, right? Actually, because I dug a little deeper into it, because this sounded familiar to me. And Microsoft, it came out on a leak. I think the leak happened in 2023 from Microsoft, but it back in 2020, when they were really trying to buy up a bunch of stuff, they were trying to buy up WB Games from AT&T, because WB's had this financial problems going on.
Second time. This is the second time WB Games have been trying to get sold in a decade.
Yeah, exactly. This has been an ongoing thing. So they were trying to buy it from AT&T. It never happened. There's no big details on why it didn't happen, but it's speculated that it's because they could not reach an agreement on the IPs, right? Mm-hmm. So if you sell WB Games, what you're selling is Player First, you're selling NetherRealm, you're selling, I guess, whoever made Harry Potter. I'm not sure what developer that is. And I'm sure they have others, developers
Rocksteady. Those guys.
So under WB Games, right? So you're selling those devs, but those devs specialize in WB properties, So Multiversus isn't Multiversus without those characters, right? Rocksteady makes Batman and DC games, right? NetherRealm makes Mortal Kombat games. So if you sell those studios, there's only the value, like there's only so much value if the IPs, if you don't reach an agreement for the IPs. And that's apparently, like, according to speculation, what happened before Microsoft was trying to reach an agreement to buy WB Games. But that would be the problem now, right? Because sure, we might not be making Mortal Kombat games anymore, but we will make a Mortal Kombat movie.
That's fair.
Yeah, so that's, I think, the real interesting part, and I think that's gonna be what, like, I can't imagine a sale happening without some type of agreement to be able to use the IPs, which that also becomes like kind of a sticky thing because with NetherRealm, it's like, okay, well, NetherRealm, we want the ability to use the Mortal Kombat IP in perpetuity and any characters and stuff like that. They'll probably be like, okay, no problem. But how about when you have to make that agreement with DC characters? How about when you have to make that agreement with the myriad of characters and multiverses, Yep. Because Warner Brothers isn't going to be like, oh yeah, just use any of our properties. You know how many properties Warner Brothers owns? Like,
LeBron James.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong and you're right. They're going to say, yes, you can use it.
For millions.
Yeah, exactly. The cost.
Pay me.
The cost is going to be way too much to just have an open license, like that.
Yeah.
So that's what you really gotta, you kind of have to weigh, right? I mean, if Rocksteady goes back to making Batman games, like, okay, we want to use the Batman property and then the Batman villains, but then even on top of that, you still have to kind of agree on which villains are you considering Batman villains. Because keep in mind, like with Marvel, right? Like with Marvel, a lot of people associate Kingpin with Spider-Man, right? However, Kingpin was not part of the package Sony got. That's why there's never been a Kingpin in a Spider-Man movie. Kingpin was sold to Fox along with Daredevil and a bunch of other like properties, So that's what you also saw. Okay, well, what constitutes a Batman villain?
Yeah.
So what you're saying is Disney could buy it and then be like, yo, we want to make this dope DC versus Marvel game, but we need your characters. Here's a few mil. Like, let's get it going. Let's get it popping. And we got our first DC versus
they could
Marvel.
buy a studio. They could buy a studio to make that shit, but they still got to go to Warner Brothers.
Yeah,
there's no way either the U.S. federal government or the EU would step in and be like, there's no way you can own Marvel and DC. You can't own
that.
Both.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a
Let
monopoly.
them do what they want.
You cannot
Doesn't Disney own like
both.
almost they own Star Wars too, man. What don't they own?
They don't own Warner
They don't own
Brothers.
DC.
They don't own Paramount.
Universal.
They don't own
Universal.
Look,
Yeah,
give them
there's
some
plenty.
time. They're working on it. The question I would ask is, if like hypothetically NetherRealms goes to another company studio, or whatever, like another company, does that change the game that they make? Like, do they still make Mortal Kombat, or do they have to make a new game because Warner Brothers is like, well, the company you're under, they don't want to agree to the characters and the amount of money, blah, 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 because the game clearly, maybe one of the games isn't doing well. The movies do better.
Like, it's not like NetherRealm without Mortal Kombat is not worth it. Like, it's just, it's not worth the purchase if they're not making a Mortal Kombat.
So then what happens to those companies? Because that means, doesn't that mean they just those studios go under and a new studio gets built?
So I'll say this. I do not see Warner Brothers shutting down WB Games. You can't ignore the fact that the Hogwarts game sold ridiculously well. And Mortal Kombat, even though there's so many people complaining about it, I see videos about people talking about why Mortal Kombat 1 is trash. That's not what the dollars are saying. And we're not talking about Mortal Kombat just selling well, like on launch, right? Like first 30 days. And it's like, oh no, we've been tricked. Like, we bought this 3 million. No, like that's not what happened. It was in top 20 for 8 months straight. Took a month off, came back, into the top 20. So like it's selling well. So they have properties that are selling well. They made their missteps with Suicide Squad. They have another Batman game coming out that's probably going to do well enough. It's an Arkham game. We'll see how it goes. They're getting more hits than misses, right? Even Multiversus, we have to see how it kind of pans out. I think we'll be waiting like another year to really see, was this a hit or was this a miss? And to us, like to them, I should say, not to us, but to them, it could be a miss, even if it's making a profit, if it's not making enough profit, right? But at least it's not losing money. Suicide Squad like burned through like
everything that Hogwarts Legacy made. These motherfuckers burnt it and then some.
Yeah, like it was a lot. So that's why I don't see them shutting down WB Games. I'm not worried about the devs losing their jobs, but if they do, like, I think like we'll see some. There's still gonna, if they don't sell WB Games, according to what I've been reading, there's going to be some other type of massive shift. Like we might see whatever the opposite of a merger is, like a separation,
a breakup, a divorce.
Is it a breakup? Like, is that the actual technical term of it? Is like a breakup or a dissolution?
It's like when you put the relationship on pause and then you come back later to it. What is that called?
Yeah, no.
Oh, taking a break, right?
A break?
yeah.
Not a breakup, but taking a break.
That might happen, and what that might affect, in my opinion, is possibly budgets for WB Games.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Which means possible support, which means possible content that we will get in our fighting games. See, we brought it all the way back to fighting games. That's all. The whole idea. It's just that these are possibilities. So just we're bringing it out there for you guys to listen. So if you are enjoying Multiverses and all, just know there might be shifts, not even just in Multiverses, but also in Mortal Kombat.
And if you're enjoying Multiverses, please let us know, because none of us are.
Yeah.
So like we'd like to know
had a chance,
what you're doing to enjoy Multiverses.
Yeah, because I want to enjoy it. I want to enjoy it for sure.
Playing in lobbies with friends and drinking. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't got friends.
There you go.
All right. So with that, let's check out some quick announcements before we get to our final piece, which of course is our mod highlight. This is just a particularly big highlight. But in the meantime, though, Street Fighter 6, Terry. We're going to get a Terry gameplay. Where? Gamescom. There's been an announcement that shows that Terry there'll be a build with Terry on it, and Mr. Terry Bogard is going to be playable at this booth at Capcom, the Capcom booth at Gamescom this year. That's actually happening, I believe that's in September. It's happening out in Cologne. So if you're out there, you're going to see some, maybe you'll get lucky, maybe some influencers will have some direct capture, or if not, you'll get the old school, just through the phone footage. But hopefully we'll see him rising tackle, all that good stuff. Make sure it's a DP motion. It's gonna be a good time. But yeah, we're gonna see Terry, and hopefully maybe his render looks a little different. Who knows? Unless he still has the same smug look. It is what it is. But we'll be seeing some Terry very, very soon, which means hopefully we'll be getting him. We'll maybe get a more in-depth look at him afterwards. More announcements, or rather things to look out for. Strive, not to be outshined here, but Strive we did post up on Twitter. I think this was earlier today or yesterday. It was on the 12th. Okay, it was yesterday. Well, excuse me, it is the 12th for you guys. I'm just in a different time zone. We've got an actual, some dates now announced for the DLC for Season Pass 4. We now know Dizzy, well, not full dates, but at least an understanding. Dizzy will be coming out in October. So we'll be getting some Dizzy in October, with Venom early 2025. Hopefully that means like January 1st. Unica is going to be coming out in spring, while Lucy will be coming out in summer. So we have a bit more of an approximation there as to the DLC. Kind of a bit long, but hey, it's better than nothing. And just a couple more months of enjoying the changes to Wild Assault until Dizzy comes in and, I don't know, floods the screen with every projectile known to man. It's going to be a good time. Frame rates will drop, and there will be a lot of zoning that'll hopefully be happening. Hopefully Mesa will be happy about that.
2 new stages.
I'm so excited. Man, F them stages. All we need is Dizzy.
2 new stages as well.
Stages.
I want to look at things.
True.
At least with Dizzy and Venom, we get 2 good songs. I mean, we get.
I was gonna say the music.
Mm-hmm. We get the good song from the latest from Exerd. Venoms, we get what's it called? A Solitude that asks for nothing in return or something.
That's a long.
Yeah, is that what his theme is?
Let's say that's what it was. I can't. Yeah. I don't. I'm really bad with Guilty Gear song, like knowing the names outside of a couple of them. It's just I just know the tunes. I'll be like, yes, I know this song. This song.
Well, I hope
is also a banger.
I hope we get the heavy track for it, because that one is dope too. And I think it's the other one's called Kill Shot from the previous game.
Oh, I love Eminem. All right, so
sure.
So the next piece we're gonna look on is actually a showcase. It is a mod highlight that we we wanted to bring up. That is what we love to do here on the show. It's just this mod highlight just happens to be quite a bit heavy. So what is Gabe's probably favorite content creator ever, Max, has gone ahead and actually done a showcase just about a day ago, showing off, of course, the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite and Beyond mod, which him and a team of other modders, including ones that we've highlighted here on this show, have been working on tirelessly in fixing. Because we all know, MVCI has had one of the biggest complaints MVCI had, besides the roster being what it was at the time. There's no mutants in it. To a degree, somewhat the gameplay, but I hear the gameplay was still like solid. I did play MVCI, but I didn't like really jump into it too hard. But the big thing obviously was the visuals, the graphics. Things just did not look good. Just look at Dante. Shit, Chun-Li had to have a damn near an entire what is it called?
Restructure model.
No,
her whole
not even just that.
Changed.
We had a oh god, what is that document? A bunch of people signed.
A petition.
A petition, basically, online, going like, what the fuck did you do to her? Yeah, she had to get an entire facelift, literally a facelift, before release, because it was just not looking too hot. So one of the big things that Max and the team that he is commissioned to work on this is to fix the looks. There is some balancing as well that they're showing off, but the big thing right now that we can actually visually see is the looks. And I mean, dude, looks sick. I didn't mean to put the dude in there, but it worked out.
It does. However, there was a bit of like comparison to a couple months ago, and it almost looked a bit more Tatsunoko versus Capcom before it looked like what it did. Now, granted, again, it's not a fully finished product. It's coming up soon, but the things that he was talking about, especially within the Spider-Man, and one thing that's smart that he did in the video was he put a comparison between PS4 and the build that he's making with everybody, and the shading. He's right about the shading in Spider-Man Super. It's early in the video. Let me go ahead and bring it up. But yeah, it looks so much bright, and it looks a lot better. And I think it's also, there's like a little bit more of the I think he was talking about the hit shaking on the screen. Like, you can tell the hits are a lot better in this game as well. I think there's also something, I don't know if, I mean, hey, somebody clip this maybe, I don't know. But if there can be more camera work detailing involved in the game as well, I think that might even be a better implementation thing. Not just in, of course, the cutscenes, but more in the actual fighting style of the gameplay. I always felt that was weird for me. But yeah, I think they're going in the right direction. I just think Ryu's hair looks weird. Is that me or not?
No, okay. I've heard some people bring that up and go like, "What's up?" Like the hair is kind of throwing them all.
I love the
UI.
It's
just an alpha. No, let me stop.
I love the UI. This guy. I love the UI though. I love how they
yes, he did mention
comic
that
book sand style.
He did.
Yeah.
Yep. That's something that he also brought up, that he sent to one of the modders, Bruno, and he said, "Hey, I wanted it in this style," and then he brought it back even better. But go ahead, yeah, keep going. They're gonna be changing, as you see the character select screen. He does mention that he will be changing some of those portraits as well.
Oh yeah, I would hope so. Some of those portraits are a little cursed there. The Dante one still gets to me, but yeah, it does look really good. I love the comic book aesthetic they've just leaned into with I don't want to say cell shading, but it's like, it feels like cell shading. I don't know if that's like the correct shader type. Here, I would think it is. But yeah, like, the Venom one, by the way, the Venom. I mean, we've seen Venom before, but to actually see him in motion, like with the classic like 90s Spider-Man, like blue, red highlights and all, just god, just
it reminds me of the PlayStation 1 game, right?
Yeah. Very different
Ultron
from what we saw before. The Ultron does look good too.
Really comic booky.
Yeah. I do like the aesthetic. I do love the direction that he's going with. There's some things to definitely still work on. I think Morgan's like the stuff that she has around her costume. I guess the fuzz. I don't know what it is 100%. Actually, I technically don't even know what the hell you would call that in whatever she's wearing. But that, I think maybe that needs to have a little bit of tweakage. But that's because it looks like the way it is. It's just the way the render is with all the individual like hairs there, it kind of looks a little weird. It looks like Homegirl's just got a ferret on.
It's funny because like there's the comparisons that he makes to the old game. It's like the old game has things that look good. Like Iron Man looks good, Jeddah looks good, Ultron, Venom. Like the characters that are not Capcom characters, and I believe it's because Capcom, it's something I'm pretty sure I said on the show before when we first covered the game, is that these characters were never realistic Capcom characters. Like that's why even Bionic Commando looks weird even compared to his main game, like when he was out at that time. And I say at that time, I mean in the 05s, right? Like in the middle 2000s when that game came out, I guess. I said 05s. What am I talking about? But like, then you talk about the other characters like DMC Dante. That DLC looked better than regular Dante. Don't know how they managed to do that. But also, another thing that I want to talk about is the music of the game. He paused, I don't know which part of it. Oh, the Ultron theme. When he was playing, there's a part where he's playing the Ultron theme, and he said that a creator helped make the music. And I said, man, that creator sounds familiar. It's Alex Mukala music. You know the guy that does the covers for Final Fantasy games?
Oh, yeah.
I marked out. I'm like, yo, he's the one doing it? Let's go. This guy, his music is the music work that he does. He understands and he dissects all the music from and he even had a composed part of music that he made for Nobuo for Final Fantasy and showed it to him and some of the other producers. And
I think he worked on 16. I think he worked on 16 actually.
I wouldn't be surprised, man, because he gets it. Like if you hear, he remixed the Ultron theme to sound more epic and villainous. He gets the formula. It was awesome listening to it. So I'm glad that Max is getting a good group of folks. Now I'm sure, like he says in the video, that dude is busy. We're not going to get all the songs like right now. We'll actively get more songs, implemented into the game. So yeah, that's one shout out I wanted to make there because that dude knows his stuff. The music guy.
For sure. But yeah, so besides the shading, this is the other component to the mod that Max is working on, and it's balance. Yep. Right now we're actually getting there's an actual balance patch or balance mod, out right now that you can get on Game Banana, and it does come with an entire list of just system changes throughout the board and character changes as well. And they're looking for feedback, much like to 2X and right, looking for feedback. They're doing the same. You got to put it out there so they can understand what kind of direction they could take to kind of lead down the same way as what's the current Marvel 3 mod that everything is it's just the perfect mod or whatever it is. The one that does a bunch of changes. So basically the equivalent of that, where it's very community driven. There's a lot of feedback to the team, and they make the adjustments from there. So I honestly did not know they were going to that direction. Either. I thought it was clearly just going to be an aesthetic mod, because that was just one of the biggest pieces to the MVCI problem list, was just it just did not look good. As well as the roster, but there's no talks about the roster right now.
I always said the DLC content for MVCI was the actual updated graphics, which is insane.
The DLC content was also good too. The characters that they added, I remember. The characters from that DLC were actually great. They were great additions to the roster.
Aside from Black Panther sucking.
Yeah, Black Panther was kind of bad. Monster Hunter good. Venom good. He's still top tier.
Sigma good.
Sigma. Sigma was kind of
he was mid, but he was still good.
But who else? Black Widow. You used her, and
wasn't Winter Soldier the other one?
Yes, that character's cheap.
Broken.
Yeah.
But also, so there were some of the other balance or changes, added moves. Thanos can use all stones.
What?
Apparently, he can use every stone. He doesn't have to pick a stone. He can use them all.
Can he play by himself?
Because of the gauntlet, more than likely. I don't think so, but that'd be cool. And they slowed down. They slowed down the exchange, because exchanges was almost instant. You
couldn't really react.
No. You couldn't punish or anything like that. Yeah, or react at the same time. Yeah, so there are definitely some changes here that are going in the right direction. Looks like also even some new stages as well, or like they're trying out some stages. I think
so.
Yeah, but the mod itself is shaping up. Besides the actual the patch that they actually put out there, or rather, excuse me, the mod that's going on there, I didn't get to see its entirety. Did he state like when it might be available, or like is there like a potential date or timeline?
I was also watching this morning and was kind of falling asleep when Hulk got on the screen, looking like the old Lou Ferrigno Hulk. But I believe it was stating for later this year.
Okay, so actually I just took a quick peek. So he did state, 3 months in right now, they have a pretty good version, but I think before they get to a version 1, he's stating probably another 3 months beforehand. So 6 months on a mod like this at this level to do what they're doing, not really unheard of, but it looks amazing. I do love the direction they're taking it. Now that kind of that had me thinking, funny enough, more than anything else, once I saw this was going down, was really a question I asked myself, and actually it's going to be the question of the week for you guys this week, our awesome listeners, is Max's MVCI mod like enough for you to pick the game back up or try it if you have not played it? Like I thought, like, hey, this is great what they're doing, and we all remember, those that were in the scene, like, remember like how everyone took it and kind of, how the game went. Like, it was still being played. Don't get me wrong, there was people that were playing the game and doing really well with it. There were some great moments that were being shown off too. Like, I'm not gonna say the game wasn't hype. There were some great moments in that game. But is this mod enough to kind of revitalize that a bit and bring it back? This ain't a question for us to answer right now. I already see Static wants to talk about it. But
you know my answer. That's it.
Actually, I can't recall your answer, but I'll ask you after the show. But I'm asking our viewers right now, or our listeners, is it enough for you guys? Let us know when we posting up. That's gonna be the question this week when we post it up on YouTube. We're gonna post it up on Discord. We'll post it up on socials. So make sure to let us know if this is mod. If you haven't played the game before, it's enough for you to come back, or if you have played it, are you willing to come back, especially with those balance patches that they're applying to it? Because it is, they're putting a lot of passion and love to it. So I'm sure they want to kind of make it go out there and get another chance at another lap.
They are the balance, the gameplay, the balance patch is already effective. The visual mods end of the year.
Yeah, the visual mod is not. Yeah, the visual mod is like at least another 3 months.
He said their aim is for the end of the year for it to be out.
Yeah. So about 3 months. Yeah, a little over 3 months then. All right, but yeah, so yeah, let us know what you guys think about the mod. We want to hear about it. Make sure to hit us up for that question of the week. But in the meantime, though, that is gonna be it for this week, guys. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us for another episode of Double Tap. I know there was a lot to talk about, but it's a lot of great stuff, and we're really stoked to have sat down and kind of get our impressions on with 2XKO, as well as the other things that are going down here in the fighting game community. In the meantime, though, make sure to follow my awesome hosts here. We got, once again, that duo team on that side. We got Meza at MezaFGC on all social media platforms, as well as on Twitch.
Yeah, I'll be streaming everything. I'll be streaming the 2XKO.
Yeah. About to say 2XKO, man. Like I'm not even gonna say what you guys are streaming.
I still do DFO, but 2XKO right now is taking.
We all know. We all know.
They're aware. They're aware. They took the break. They're like, oh, hiatus moment. Okay.
Of course, Static Gorilla at Static Gorilla on all social media platforms, as well as on Twitch. Guess what he's playing?
Marvel 3 I wish. No, Marvel 3 is in. I just typed into the tournament bracket for Marvel 3. It's not ratio this time like last week was, which I missed. But I'll be playing that on Friday, and maybe some more 2XKO when I get the chance to stream in front of everybody.
Yeah, we'll do some more team tournaments.
Oh my god.
There you go. Please tune in for that. Please tune in. Please tune in to these guys playing. I guarantee you will not regret it. All right, make sure to follow at Josh Shadamas, of course, on Twitter as well as on Blue Sky.
Yes. Correct.
There you go. Awesome. And you can follow me at CrashTagBS, but also make sure to follow the show at Double Tap FGC. That, of course, is on YouTube. It's on Twitter. Make sure to join our Discord as well, specifically our main Discord, doubletap.gg/Discord. Come join our awesome community. Come say what's up. Come answer the question of the week. Put it on the polls. Talk about some articles. Post up what you guys are liking. If you got some secret tech for 2XKO, we are more than willing to take it on. Make sure to come say what's up. Appreciate everybody that's been coming in. And you guys, of course, can support the show free of charge, liking and subscribing, of course, on the YouTubes, following us on Twitter, and, of course, giving us some feedback on your favorite podcast platform of choice. Tell us what we're doing right so we can keep on doing it, what we're doing wrong so we can go into the training mode and learn that matchup. In the meantime, though, guys, appreciate y'all hanging out with us. We'll have another episode for you guys next week. Stay on the grind for that 2x KO. We've got only a couple days left, so enjoy that stuff. But until then, we'll see you guys later. Peace.